Hello there, Internet. How's it going? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for clicking on this one. Today, we are here with Dolphin Farts on r/Reddit Gets Drawn Badly, asking anybody want to draw my buddy. I like immediately love this guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The way that he typed this message makes me just have an instant love for him. I don't care what like crimes he's committed, what horrible atrocities that he's been complicit in his life. The fact that he said anybody want to draw my buddy, that in itself was enough to hook me. I was like, this guy's a goat. And then I read the description and it said long time listener, first time caller. Love this subreddit so much. This guy just has a vibe he has an aura about him. Long time listener, first time caller. It's like a beautiful phrase to just drop about a subreddit. That's just like, this guy is like media literate. I don't know. He's got that vibe. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm misreading the situation. But he's given me the vibe of somebody who knows what's going on in the world. So I just felt like I had to give him a little bit of something here. Try to heed his request. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of guy I feel like that, like once he gets a goal set in his mind. I'm doing a lot of just imagined scenarios about this guy, just solely based on like the things that he like typed on a subreddit. But I feel like I know him like really closely, and I feel like once this guy gets a goal in his mind, like he sets out and does it. Like he's not one of those freaks that sits around and thinks about doing it. Like he sets out and just does it. I don't know why, but I get the vibe. Like I'm not even talking about the guy in the photo. I'm talking about the poster. Like the guy whose face I don't even know, whose demeanor I can't judge because I have no point of reference for it. But I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I've gained a lot just from the way he typed out his post, and I really do feel like I know him, And something about oh my God, my tablet is really hot right now. It might explode. I've never felt it this hot before. Sorry to just like bust in and make an unrelated comment here, but my drawing tablet, oh my God, it's really like it's steaming hot. It's kind of concerning. I've had this one for like probably, I don't know, almost a decade or something. Like I've had it for a long time. I think it might be on its way out. And I think not only do I think it might be on its way out, I think this might be its exact moment of going out. Just I'm a little scared. So be prepared. Maybe turn down your headphones because there might be a huge like tablet explosion sound that comes through the magic of the interwebs to your speakers. Just be aware that that's a possibility. And I'm going to be aware as well. I'm going to be, over here holding the fort down. But back to the topic at hand. This guy for sure, he's a real go-getter. I've been thinking a lot about like what does it take to be a quote unquote motivated person? Like I think there's a lot of discourse online, and by discourse I mean just like content surrounding the idea of like productivity, right? Like how do you really be productive? What is the secret? I think my current philosophy, like what I've landed on as of recently, it changes almost every day because productivity is just like a fickle thing. It's something that I'm thinking about always. A kind of lightning strike that I'm trying to, capture within a bottle type situation. But I think right now, like where I'm at in terms of my thoughts on productivity is like action. I think like the first action that you take on the journey to getting something completed is oftentimes the most important. And I think that's what I've been focusing on recently that I wanted to kind of bring up here is like the effort towards putting a high level of importance on starting your thing, Like I think that has a lot of determination on like whether or not you go through with it even further. Like, I don't know, did you put in the legwork to go that first, step type shit? I think that that the most applicable thing that I'm kind of mostly thinking about when I say that for me, like in my life right now, is like this. I feel like this channel, I think I have like big visions. Recently I've had a big vision. I'm kind of becoming a little bit more and more each day, like kind of a crazy. I don't want to use the word schizophrenic because that's like a real condition, but like, like the people who would use the word schizophrenic as not a real condition, aka me, if I wasn't recording this, like, you know what I mean. Like I'm slowly becoming more and more absurd each day with the things I believe, and kind of a little conspiracy theorist esque in the way that I carry myself, or the way that I go about existing in the world. Mostly with regards to YouTube. I think new things about YouTube every day. I get new beliefs and get new spurs of inspiration. Right now though, I'm really in an interesting state with my relationship to the platform. I'm like, this I think could be something that I could like make the choice to pour a lot of time into. And not only that, but it's like something I think would genuinely I don't know if fulfill me is the right word. Like I couldn't really tell you. That's one of those things where I don't know, that's a hard thing to put a number on, you know what I mean? Not a number on, but like, I think you understand what I'm getting at. And I think, I don't know, I recognize, I think a lot of my issues stem from the fact actually that I recognize how naive I am. So it's like I have this kind of weird level of self-awareness that's almost enough to be able to distinguish right from wrong in terms of like choices that I make for my life, but not quite there yet, right? Like I'm kind of approaching it, but I'm not like, I don't have the sauce, you know what I'm saying? But I think what I hope to do, what I hope to do with this channel is like commit, right? Like whether or not that means committing to giving up on it or committing to going all in on it. I just want to commit, whatever that ends up meaning. And I think right now that means committing to going all in on it for a little bit, at least. Over this summer, at least, I'm thinking I'm just going to try my best to stop making excuses, right? And just lock in on it. And that's what I think OP has. The original poster of this image has, that I don't. That makes him like able to succeed in his life based on this random image that I've created of him in my head based on nothing, is that I think OP's got an understanding of how vital the starting process is, right? I think that's what OP and all successful people have over me right now. And I gotta just get on that, I don't know. It's a really interesting spot I found myself in with this whole YouTube thing. And there's a lot I feel like I could talk about with regards to my attitude towards it, but a lot of it would be really hard to explain in like a 20-minute video, right? So that's the main reason I'm hesitant to go deep dive into my psyche and say a lot of super, I don't know, thought-provoking things in these videos. Is like I don't want to go too crazy and try and dive into a topic that would be impossible for me to fully explore over the course of the video and then leave the viewer feeling unfulfilled. Like he didn't finish what he was going to say. What was he going to say? I was so invested, kind of thing. Absurd fear. Like I recognize that is a really, you're looking at me like, what did you just say to me? Like, are you an actual like idiot? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I quite frankly, I couldn't tell you what's going on up there as much as I know about as much as you, is what I'm trying to say. And clearly that is not a lot. Or actually maybe you know more than me. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you understand me more than I understand myself at this point. We're going deep into a world that we don't understand. I don't know what I meant by that. I have no idea I don't know why I just said that. That was just kind of me spitballing like lyric ideas, I guess. You know what this is actually? The flow state that I get in of banter, of like things that I'm saying in these videos, is exactly the flow state that I get in when I'm like trying to write a song. Because on occasion, I'll do a little songwriting action in my life, and this is like the exact flow state I'm in, where I'm like, I'm trying to think of things to say that don't really mean anything, but like sound kind of cool, and I'm like, I gotta figure out how to make this concept that I'm thinking of that's very complex, but like make it understandable and communicate it in a kind of diluted way that is applicable to things that don't necessarily come to mind right now. Like it's vague enough that other people could apply their own, meaning to it. And it's like, really, does anyone actually know what it means? I don't know, Sorry, I'm really lost in the sauce right now, if you couldn't tell. This is a fun challenge, though. This particular image, it's given me some, I don't know, it's given me some tough times, for sure. I think I can, I was wondering why that was weird. It was on the wrong tool. I think I can salvage it. I think I can. So I'm going to give it my best shot, but... Oh, I totally forgot there was a face on the... Dude, I totally forgot I had to do a face on this man. Oh no, that makes it really a lot harder to salvage, because that takes a lot of the time that I thought I was going to have out of the equation. I don't think this is salvageable anymore, you guys. I think I'm cooked, actually. Okay. But to maybe, I don't know, give you an idea, dear viewer, of of what my plan is, what to expect from the channel. I don't want to expose too much because I hate saying stuff. I hate making empty promises, but I do have grand visions. Like, rest assured, I have grand visions. Whether or not I speak them aloud, they do exist. I don't want to say something that doesn't end up happening, but I will say, I guess, a little tidbit of what I have planned. I'd really like to update like the UI, not UI, but the overlay of these videos that I use. I like the one that I'm using right now. Obviously, it's like the Windows Vista or Windows XP or whatever background, which I just chose because I thought it was like a fun vibe, and I needed something for my stream like a year ago, 2 years ago at this point. But I think now is the time for an upgrade, if any. There's a lot of ideas floating around in my head, but one thing that I think is a super interesting comparison, and very pertinent, I think, I don't know how much like longevity this has, but for the moment, I think it's genuinely a genius idea. Another reason why I don't want to speak this out loud is because I do think it's a genuinely genius idea, and I don't want it to be like nabbed. Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit, like I said, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist over here. I'm getting really wrapped up in the idea that I'm like this creative genius or something, which I don't know if I really think that, but I kind of think that. you know what I'm saying? I am kind of a freak, okay? But my basically, I had this like, I don't know, I had this genius concept that I'm going to be honest, it took a little bit to fully realize. Like at first I had the idea and I was like, no, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. But I kind of convinced myself through thinking about it more and more that it was actually genius. And I think all the best ideas you have to be convinced of. Basically, I was thinking about like, how does streaming fit into the overall, arc of history of technological development and artistic, development and the history of things we've made in the past and things we'll make in the future. Like, how does this fit in? And the thing that I have come to believe is that streaming is kind of just like the natural evolution of television. And I don't think this is like that of that crazy of an idea. Like I'm sure other people know what I'm saying when I say that. Like I'm not saying this is some genius, never before heard, like insane breakthrough. Like obviously it's a pretty easy conclusion to jump to. But I don't think anyone's fully realized that vision through YouTube content yet, right? What I mean is bringing the elements of traditional live TV to the art of streaming and content creation. Like, what would it look like? Imagine, just close your eyes and imagine with me for a moment. Suspend disbelief a little bit here. What would it look like if streamers treated their channels like they were TV networks, right? Like, what would that look like? I kind of think of it as almost the antithesis to the MrBeast movement, but also kind of working alongside the MrBeast movement at the same time, which sounds insane. Like I know a lot of what I'm saying is kind of gonna go. I don't want to say over your head, but it's gonna sound like I'm crazy, just because you haven't seen what I'm talking about, and maybe it doesn't actually work. Like we don't know because we haven't tried, kind of thing. So just because it's an unknown thing, it might sound a little insane. And I'm really not helping my case through the ramblings that I'm doing here. But I do think if like streamers went out and said, okay, I'm going to program out what is going to be live on my network, right? Like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to make shows, right? Like, this is a show that I'm producing. I'm putting down this much money on it. This is our budget. We're going to make a set. We're going to have a host, right? We're going to have an intro. We're going to have this and that, right? Obviously, this is big dreaming, right? Like this would require huge budget, huge commitment, and like no true indication of whether or not it will lead to success. Like this is a crazy idea. But I'm imagining someone who is willing to take crazy risks, right? Like how would that look? I think it would be I do think it would be somewhat innovative and successful. I do think that it has the potential of being enjoyed by people. I don't know to what extent, a YouTuber would be able to push the boundaries on something like that. Like how far could you go towards the TV station thing? Like could you really get that crazy with it? I don't know. I don't. But it's definitely something to think about. And something to kind of, I don't know, potentially push forward through my channel. I'd love, like, basically my idea is Pat Dan TV, PDTV. It's like a TV station. You tune into the channel and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. I don't know what that, you can tell it's very grassroots. Like it's in its early stages, right? Like even if this was a good idea, you would have no idea based on, you wouldn't know that it was a good idea based on what I'm saying right now. So it could really be the worst idea of all time. But I think I believe in it, and I think I'm going to I don't know, pursue it a little bit. Just try my hand at it, and I just think it's a good branding aesthetic. You know, like 2000s TV, PBS. I think like 2000s PBS is a good brand aesthetic. So regardless of whether or not it's like a, I don't know, apt comparison and good idea overall, like the brand aesthetic is there. So it's at the very least something. Um, so yeah, that's my big thing. If you couldn't tell just by the way that I was having such trouble expressing that, I'm really afraid of sharing my my inner thoughts with people. Inner thoughts is a weird, really weird phrase, but you know what I mean. I'm afraid of sharing the things that I think, because I'm like, am I crazy? Like I'm afraid of actually being crazy, to be honest. I'm like not crazy, but like I'm afraid of being an idiot. I'm afraid that that is actually the dumbest idea ever, and like everyone else knows it but me. You know, that's my fear. Um, but like, how would I know if I didn't try? And how devastated would I be if like it's true and I just didn't try it? So we're gonna give it a shot. Pat Dan TV coming to a theater near you. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's a pretty broad vision that I have, and also pretty outlandish and optimistic for sure. But I do believe that there's a world where it pans out. I don't know if we're in that reality, but that reality is existing somewhere out there in the multiverse. And this guy in the trash bag, he knows it. I'm actually, you know what I didn't even think about is, why is he in a trash bag? Like I didn't even consider that until just now. He's like at a baseball game or something. Like that's a baseball stadium, right? It looks like a baseball stadium to me. So what is happening at the baseball game that requires a trash bag? Is it raining or something? Like, do they play baseball in the rain? Is it? I don't know. I don't watch sports. So like, if it starts raining, would they not like call off the game? I don't actually know how it works. I genuinely don't. Maybe it's like raining and the guy doesn't have a raincoat. Maybe this is his raincoat. Maybe it's a rain poncho and I'm just misconstruing it as a trash bag. And I'm the idiot. And this whole time you guys have been like, why are you so stupid? Little do I know, I'm being made the fool of here. I mean, that would be horrible, but we got to sit in the unknown and the potential horrible reality that we create for ourselves. See, I just be talking, I just be yapping. Yeah. This is a tough one. I'm giving myself a lot of challenging photos in these videos, which I think is fun. I like it. I like a little challenge. And I think that's constantly challenging yourself and doing things that you aren't good at as an artist, I think is one of the main reasons why, like, a lot of the time artists might feel like they're never enough, like their skills are constantly inadequate, and I think it leads to a lot of negative feelings. But I simultaneously also believe that it's like the best way to grow. Like, if you're not challenging yourself in that way, you'll never reach the heights that you could be reaching, because you settle for something less than you're capable of, and you're like, I'm good enough here. Like, I'm not going to do anything outside of my comfort zone anymore. I feel like I've done enough work, and now I'm just going to settle and do this for the rest of my life. Like, artists, all the great artists of our past have at some point done that and settled on a style and settled on I don't know, an artistic identity that remained consistent for the majority of their career, and gave them something to be known by, like I don't know, a calling card, visually. But until you've like reached that level of success, like there's no point in settling, I don't think. That's my advice to all you artists out there. I get really like philosophical and existential type conversations when I don't know what to say. That's just because where my brain is at usually. And it sucks because I think when I think more abstractly about the world and think about like the grander place of myself and other people, like in the world as a whole, like how small we are and how little of an effect we have, it makes me the saddest. Like that's when I'm in the worst state of mind, is when I'm thinking about that. But it's also what I'm thinking about all the time. so it's like it's never ending. I mean, it's an interesting like, thing to think about, but to think about it all the time, it's really depressing. From experience, I would recommend against it. But I mean, hey, you do you. I think it does give you I don't know, a bit of unique insight into the decisions and you make and how you look at things, but it's also very sad sometimes. Hopefully you guys understood a single lick of what I said in this video. I know a lot of it probably didn't make any sense, but I'm glad you stuck with me all the way through anyway. In any case, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so very much for your time. I've been Pat Dane. You've been great. Until next time, kick rocks, pal. Bye-bye.